Okay, today's lesson is on basic factoring. There's a little bit on the thing, but basically here's what you do. You are given a quadratic expression that looks like this, and you need to factor it into two sets of parentheses. If you look on the first slide she gives you, it says x plus 10 times x plus 3, and she does the distributive property to get the answer is x squared plus 13x plus 30. What we're doing is the backwards of that. We're starting with this, and we want to end up with something like that. And it's important. It's gonna build in the next lesson. So really, this is just like factoring. How does this work? So when you factor, you're gonna ask yourself two questions. You're gonna find out what multiplies to give you the last number, but adds to give you the middle number. So always start with the last number, 18. If I have 18, my options to multiply to give me 18 are 1 and 18, 2 and 9, and maybe 3 and 6. And so then I look at those and I say, okay, which of those numbers could add to give me 11? Well, 1 and 18 is not. 9, 10, 11. I'm going to pick 9 and 2. And so to factor this, I just write x plus 2, x plus 9. That's it. Makes it just like a little puzzle. Now, it doesn't matter if you write x plus 9, parentheses x plus 2. The order doesn't matter as long as you have a plus 9 and a plus 2. But it does get a little bit trickier than that. So let's keep going. I can do lots of these problems quickly. Okay, the next problem on the sheet says x squared plus 18x plus 45. So I'm looking at 45. What numbers multiply to give me 45? The first thing I would think of with 45 is 9 times 5, right? You can make the whole list if you want. I would just go through and do the ones you know. But 9 and 5 is not going to make me 18, so that does not work. So what am I going to pick? What am I going to pick, Connor Chin? 3 and 15. 3 and 15, because 3 times 15 is 45. And so if I have x plus 3, x plus 15, then, it takes 2 seconds. 2 seconds to check. 3 plus 15 is 18. 3 times 15 is 45. Got it? Now, let's go to where it is a little bit trickier. Let's do one where there's a minus sign in the middle. So if we have x, I don't want parentheses. And I'm skipping some on the little flip chart. I'm just doing some of them. X squared plus 7, or minus 7x plus 12. So now all of a sudden we have a negative sign. So I'm still looking at 12. What numbers multiply to give me 12? The two most popular ones are 2 and 6 and 3 and 4. And so if I have a 2 and a 6 and a 3 and a 4, and I'm trying to get to a negative 7, my best bet is 3 and 4, because I know that 3 plus 4 is 7, but I need to make it a negative 7. So if I put these parentheses up here, x and x, if I make a negative 3 and a negative 4, negative 3 plus negative 4 is negative 7. Negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12. And so this works. So you just have to be careful of the signs. They're not always plus signs in the middle. Sometimes they're minus signs in the middle. And sometimes they're a little bit of both. So let's do a couple more. Again, I'm not doing the whole flip chart. I'm going to go down to the next page and do 2 more. I'm going to do x squared minus 2x minus 3. And I'm going to do x squared plus 2x minus 35. Okay? So I have 3. What multiplies to give you 3? The only numbers in the whole world you know that multiply to give you 3 is 3 and 1. I have a 3 and I have a 1. Well, I need to make a negative 2 out of that. If I want a negative 2, then I want a negative 3 and a positive 1. And so negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. And that's done. I changed my mind. I'm going to do one more because of this x in the middle. Make sure you remember that x is like a 1. There's a 1x there. And so I'm looking at 30, what multiplies to give me 30, but would add to give me negative 1. I'm going to pick 6 and 5. I'm going to do x, I'm going to do 6 and 5, and I want a positive 1. So that means I want the 6 to be positive and the 5 to be negative. Because 6 minus 5 is positive 1. 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. And then you're done. Now this one's a little bit opposite. Oh, I guess it is like that guy. We're going to do this guy, x squared plus 2x minus 35. 35 is another one. There aren't a lot of numbers that I think of when I think of 35. I think of 5 and 7. So if I have x and I have 7 and 5, then I want positive 2, I want positive 7 minus 5, and then that's it. It's just like a little puzzle, what multiplies and then adds, and then make sure you check at the end.